Frank, no! Frank, come here. I don't know how to tell you this, little guy, but it's moving day. I don't know what to tell you, my man. The people have spoken. You've been evicted out of the 2,000-gallon aquarium. For those that have no clue what I'm talking about, in yesterday's video, I went over the fact that I faced a problem recently with my flower horn, Frank. Actually, if you haven't seen yesterday's video, just go ahead and watch that so we don't need to explain it again. Frank, it's time to go, little buddy. Do you know what this is? Oh, you're so friendly, you don't care. Come check it out. Just for a second. Frank, don't make me come over there. Big net to scoop them, little net to kind of hold them on, then I can put them in the main aquarium. He'll come over. He can't help it. Come on, buddy, you're gonna go to your own little tank. I know you like the 2,000. Who wouldn't? Attempt 1, failure. Now he's upset. Oh, tried to scoop him, he doesn't want to come out. Frank, come on, please. There you go, buddy. Come on over. I'm sorry. It's me. Such a little fish in such a big tank. I have no clue how I'm going to get him out. I've broken my trust with him. I should have been faster. Come here, Frank. Frank, come here. I'm just gonna have to go for you. You're not that fast, you're too chubby. I'm coming. Frank, I need you to come with me. Frank, you're under arrest. You've been found guilty of... Frank, no! Okay. That's enough. Oh boy, have you ever gotten big? A little upset. No, swim the other way. There you go. What do you think? It's not so bad in there, is it? It's your own tank. The whole thing is yours. Look who I got. My ultimate blood red Asian arowana. I'm adding him, or her, to the 2,000-gallon aquarium. Just going to temperature acclimate her first. So as many of you guys know, a little while ago, I got an ultimate blood red Asian arowana. A little difficult to see her through the bag right now, but she's been downstairs in one of my holding tanks for a while now. And today we're adding her to the 2,000-gallon aquarium, especially now that Frank's been moved out of here. She'll be able to do just fine in here. Now, one of the reasons why I hadn't added her already was because there was a extremely large Asian arowana in here previously, my blue base crossback buddy. And he recently passed away, but the reason she couldn't go in with him is because he was too big. He would have killed her, so would have Frank. But she'll be able to find the food in the aquarium, no problem. It doesn't matter how big it is, she's going to do just fine. And the rays actually get the same food that she's getting in the same size and everything, so it's kind of perfect that way. The ray that I currently have, the small baby pearl ray, can't come in here yet. She's too small. She's gonna have difficulty finding the food, and the other bigger rays are going to outcompete her. So I definitely gotta put a couple more inches on her before I move her over. But for now, this tank needs an Asian arowana, and we're putting one in. Okay, so here we go. Water temperatures to match, pretty closely. Just let them mix in a little bit. Yeah, they're identical. Just gonna like it in here. There you go. You're free, little one. Such a big tank for a little girl. I think she loves it. She'll explore it for a little while. She looks great in there. Look how tiny she looks compared to Buddy. Oh man, I'm gonna miss that guy. But I think she's gonna fill this void. Again, this tank definitely needed her in there. She's gonna look beautiful when she becomes an adult. You like your new tank, huh? I don't blame you. Man, she's got such a different type of personality than Buddy, but you know, I got to admit, she's definitely reminding me of him, the way she kind of slowly swims by me. She's always greeting me, especially in the grow tanks, and I always found that odd because it was such a smaller tank. You know, I was very rarely around the tank, but she's always so excited to see me. Very calm in terms of feeding and even catching her, netting her, putting her in the bag, all went so smoothly. You guys have seen that before. But, and she's just transitioning to this tank so nicely. She's got beautiful head-to-eye ratio, nice straight barbells, great finnage. Her scales are looking good. She's got deep coloration in her, red coloration in her fins already, even though she's just being transferred to this tank, which is a fantastic sign. I mean, red Asian arowana tend to take, you know, years to develop that deep red coloration. And, you know, she's only 8 or 9 inches right now. So she's got a couple of years, you know, maybe a year and a half before we really see a dramatic change in her color and her scales, but I can only imagine, based on the potential she has right now, how stunning she will one day be. Well, Frank's got his tank, and he's enjoying it. He's doing quite well up there. The tank isn't decorated. There's no substrate. There's actually no lighting on the tank either, but you know, that stuff will come in time. I just kind of wanted to get him over and show you guys this and get things moving. But I think he's going to stay in this tank for a while until we figure out something a little bit more permanent. But I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Should he stay up here permanently or what? I mean, we do have a considerable amount of these tanks here. We've got 10. But Frank is more of a pet individual fish. He would be the only fish in this tank moving forward. And I'm not sure if I'm happy with doing that. I guess what the next thing I'll do is I think we'll add in some substrate at some point and a few little decorations, maybe some wood or something like that, and see how he does. But for now, he's doing okay. So she's doing great in the tank. Clearly, it's only been a very short while, so you know, time will tell of how well she'll do overall. But there's a couple of things I'd like to address, and one is the fact that the wood is still in here and it's not going anywhere. You know, I know a lot of people were thinking, you know, you've added an Asian arowana to the tank where the wood caused problems with my past one, killing it. You know, and for those that are new here, or, you know, for those that need a reminder, I had a 24-inch long Asian arowana in this tank. And at one point, it was behind the wood, panicked a little bit being behind there, jumped, landed on top of the wood, which caused it to freak out. And it dashed around the tank, causing internal injuries to itself, eventually causing him to pass away a few days later. But just to backtrack on that fish slightly, I'd like to remind some people that, you know, I had that fish for about 5 years, and during my time with him, I kept him in bare tanks, bare bottom, no decorations, no nothing, for his entire lifespan. This was due largely to the fact of the size this fish was in. It was in a much smaller tank. For example, in a 375-gallon tank, that's big enough for the fish, but not big enough for the fish and decorations. You know, it's kind of a catch-22, but Asian arowana don't need decorations. That's more of an aesthetic thing for us. In the long term, they cause more problems than they're worth, even the substrates. However, this is a 2,000-gallon tank. There's plenty of room for the fish and decorations. In fact, there's more room in here for even more wood if I want to add them. And trust me, I've got a ton more wood I can add. Maybe one day I will. With that said, he went from a bare tank to tank with wood. He needs time to adjust. He liked it though. He was swimming all through it, swimming around it. You know, I've never seen him so interactive with something before, but you know, he really enjoyed that wood. But the downside about that fish was that he had a bit of an attitude. And a part of that attitude was, don't touch me. Don't you dare touch me. And he's swimming behind the wood one day and turns and, you know, probably rubbed up against the wood or the wall of the tank. And that was like, oh, don't touch me. Freaks out. When arowana want to get away from something, they'll jump if they have to. So he jumped, landed on top of the wood, knocked some of the plants off. You know, that didn't cause any injuries
to him, but because there's maybe this far to drop after he fell down. He almost like kind of flopped over onto the wood, not enough to hurt him. But that caused him to freak out, and when he did, he just smashed and thrashed throughout the tank. A few minutes later, he was upside down, caused severe internal problems with his swim bladder as one of them. I think that he probably caused some internal bleeding to some extent as well. I couldn't find it though. So obviously, I know a lot of you cared for that fish and don't want to see that ever happen again. So we automatically take it out on what we think caused the problem, which was the wood. And ultimately, this was a freak occurrence of, random events linked together. I mean, he just so happened to be the right size, and the wood happened to be the right distance from the wall that, when he turned, it was just the perfect amount of space to cause him to freak out, which caused him to jump, which caused, and by chance landed on the wood, and then freak, so many, random occurrences linked together in the right order to cause this overall issue. And will that happen to her? Well, you can never say never, but I mean, people get struck by lightning twice. Does that mean I'll never go outside? She's been raised in a bear tank as well. However, she's much smaller, maybe 8 or 9 inches, maybe even 10 inches, probably a little smaller. But do I think it will happen to her? No, she's going to live the next, for example, the next 5 years in this tank and get used to the decorations, get used to the wood, get used to the fish, grow up with them. And find her boundaries and find what she can and can't do. And again, I don't think it would happen at all. But, I kind of want to, bring up something that's sort of ironic to me. So I've been making videos for about 9 years, and I've got about a decade of experience with Asian arowana. And, through my channel, I dealt with a lot of feedback, we'll say, on keeping Asian arowana in bear tanks. This is an extremely common thing to do, especially in the Asian arowana tank, bear tanks, bare bottoms, etc. Totally normal. But to an unexperienced hobbyist that's never seen it before, they're like, wow, this is mean. He needs decorations and a little, treasure chest with a little scuba diver that bubbles. Like, that's not what they said, but they need decorations. And I would explain that, in such a small tank, the decorations and whatnot are going to cause more problems. They're going to get hurt. They could dash into them. And they're going to cause more problems than they're worth. Now, the tanks are typically sized to the arowana to live its life out of, but, not big enough for the fish and decorations. So I would explain that. For years, I explained that. Finally, we built a 2,000-gallon aquarium. Enough space for Asian arowana. I could put 6 in here, 7 in here, plus the wood if I wanted to. And nobody said a peep. Everybody loved the wood. Everybody loved the wood. Nobody can deny that. We all loved the wood. But now we have a freak accident. Everybody's like, you shouldn't have had the wood in there. You got to take the wood out. It's just really ironic to me how things played out. And I'm not trying to be a jerk about it. I just, from the outside looking in, I can see your perspective, but from the inside looking out, I see all the comments, and I've been doing this for years, and it's just interesting to me to see how commenters evolve to go with the flow. I'm an educational channel, and I will do my best to educate you to the best of my ability every single time. And if that means I've got to bring up stuff like this, and if that means I have to show you things that hurt, or show you things that really bother me, or even talk about things that are sensitive to me, I'm still going to do it because I think there is something educational and useful that you could use for your hobby, or at the very least, it's interesting. With that said, wood isn't going anywhere, Asian arowana isn't going anywhere, but there certainly will be more rays coming in here and more fish. So if you're not subscribed to this channel yet and you're as excited as I am about this tank, and of course every other tank, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of my videos.